Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, this your Aki and Madril Azil, back with another quick lesson. Also want to give double honors and a salute to the men I learned this truth from. Shalom, Barakatham. Yeah, this is possibly my third attempt trying to get this app to work, but yeah, I was looking through the current events and I saw this article regarding um, this swarm of locusts from AP News, and it was published June 26, 2022. So that was a few days ago. It's like a few days ago. And the article reads, Biblical insect swarms spur organ push to fight pests. Let me repeat that again. Biblical insect swarms spur organ push to fight pests. So this article reads, Arlington, Oregon. Driving down a winding canyon road in northern Oregon, range land, Jordan Melly in April emoted or emote, Salakia, emote, are on the lookout for Mormon crickets, giant insects that can ravage crops. There, Salakia, there's one right there, emote, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, says they're not hard to spot. The insects, which can grow larger than 2 inches 5 centimeters, blot the asphalt. Mormon crickets are not new to Oregon, native to western North America. Their name dates back to the 1800s, where they ruined the fields of Mormon settlers in Utah. But amidst drought and warming temperatures, conditions favored by the insects, outbreaks across the West have worsened. The Oregon legislature last year allocated $5 million to assess the problem and set up a Mormon cricket and grasshopper suppression program. An additional $1.2 million for the program has approved earlier this month. It's part of a large effort to state and federal authorities. So like it's part of a large effort by state and federal authorities in the U.S. West to deal with the explosion of grasshoppers and Mormon crickets, Salakia, that has hit from Montana to Nevada. But some environmental groups oppose the program, which rely on the aerial spray of pesticides across large swamps of land. Let's see, read more. It says Melly, an Oregon State University extension agent, and Amote, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, a resident of a small Columbia River town in Arlington, are both involved in Mormon cricket outreach and surveying efforts in the area. In 2017, Arlington saw its largest Mormon cricket outbreak since the 1940s. The roads were greasy with the smashed entrails of the huge insects, which damaged nearby wheat crops. Rancher Sky Krabs said the outbreaks have been truly biblical. I'm gonna stop right there. It says from this rancher, Sky uh, Krebs or Krebs, however you pronounce their name, says the outbreaks have been truly biblical. So that brings me to so we already know this place right here is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt. So that brings me to the book of Revelation 11, chapter 11, it's like it, verse 8, and it reads, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of that great city, which spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So this place is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt. And let's go to the book of Salakia of Exodus, chapter 10. It started at verse 8, and it reads, and Moses and Aaron were brought again unto Pharaoh, and he said unto them, go, serve the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, your power. But who are they that shall go? And Moses said, we will go with our young and our old, with our sons and with our daughters, with our flocks and with our herds. We will go, for we must hold a feast unto the Lord. And he said unto them, let the Lord be so with you, as I will let you go, and your little ones look to it, for evil is before you. Not so, go now ye that are men, and serve the Lord, for that ye did desire, and they were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail have left. So this is one of the plagues that Yahweh Shem Yahushai is unleashing upon this place, man, uh, which is called spiritually, Salakia, Sodom and Egypt, mentioned in the book of Revelations, chapter, Salakia, chapter 11. And by this comment, let's go back to this comment by this rancher that says again, we read, it says rancher Sky or Sky Curbs or Krebs, Salakia, yeah, Krebs says or said the outbreak have been truly biblical. I'm gonna continue to read. It says, on the highway, once you get them killed, they Salakia. On the highways, once you get them killed, then the rest of them come. He explained. Mormon crickets are cannibalistic and will feast on each other, dead or alive, if not saturated with if not saturated with protein. The insects, which are not true crickets but shield back get this word because I don't want to say it wrong. Slovakia. Come on, thing.
Katydid.
Yeah, katydid, a large, typically green, longhorned grasshopper native to North America. The male makes a characteristic sound that resembles the name katydid. I didn't want to say that wrong. Okay, let's go. Where we at? Slovakia. Okay, right here. The insects, Slovakia. The insects which are not true crickets but shielded back katydids are flightless, but they can travel at least a quarter of a mile in a day, according to Melly. It's like according to Melly, Amot or Amot fought the 2017 outbreak with what she had on hand. I got I got the lawnmower out and started mowing them and killing them. She said, I took a straight hoe and I stabbed them. Amot has organized volunteers to tackle the infestation and earned the nickname Cricket Queen. Another infestation last year had local officials scrambling. Melly said, we had all those high value crops in irrigation circles, he explained. We just had to do what we could to keep them from getting into that. In 2021 alone, Oregon agricultural officials estimate 10 million acres of rangeland in 18 countries, so like counties, were damaged by grasshoppers and Mormon crickets. Under the new Oregon initiative, private landowners like farmers and ranchers can request the Oregon Department of Agriculture survey their land. If ODA finds more than 3 Mormon crickets or 8 grasshoppers per square yard, it will recommend chemical treatment. In some areas near Arlington surveyed in May, soon after that hatched, there were 201 Mormon crickets per square yard. State officials recommend that aerial applications of defibril- defib, defibbenzurin, if I'm saying it right, let me click on that word. It's not going, yeah. Defibbenzurin is a insecticide of a benzoylurin or benzoylurin class. It is used to it is used in forest management and on field crops to selectively control insect pests, particularly forest tent caterpillar moths, etc. So let's go back. State officials recommend the aerial application of difibbenzorin, if I'm saying that right. The insecticide works by inhalable No, Salakia. The insecticide works by inhabitating, I don't know why I said, inhabitating development, preventing nymphs from growing into adults. Landowners can be reimbursed for up to 75% of costs. Diane Fillmore is a rancher participating in the new cost sharing initiative. She says the ground is just crawling with grasshoppers on her property. ODA recommended she treat her 988-acre ranch in Iraq, a southeastern Oregon, southeastern Oregon, as the program's protocol calls for applying insecticide in only half the proposed area. Alternatively, targeting swarms, then crippling the next one. This means nearly 500 acres of her land will actually be sprayed. Fillmore decided to act, remembering last year's damage. It was horrible, Fillmore said. Grasshoppers just totally wiped out some of our fields. She was forced to spend $45,000 to hay, own hay she normally wouldn't have to buy. Todd Adams, an entomologist, no, entomologist, entomologist of ODA's Eastern Oregon Field Office and Grasshopper Program Coordinator, said as of mid-June, ODA had received 122 survey requests and sent out 31 transmit recommendations for roughly 4,000 acres, 16,187 hectares. No, I can't even. Uh, uh, see this.
Hectare.
Yeah, there you go. Hectares. A metric unit of square measure equal to 100 acres. So these words are not too common to me. I don't deal thoroughly in agriculture, so I don't want to say things wrong. But hectare said landowners must act quickly if they decide to spray difibbenzorin, as it is only effective against nymphs. I'm saying that right. Let's see.
Nymph.
Yeah, nymphs. And this, look, this read the definition. This is a mythological spirit of nature, imagined as a beautiful maiden inhabiting rivers, woods, and other locations. Nah, that wasn't important. Yeah, I just looked at the word and see mythological spirit. Yeah, but nymphs. Uh, Once they become adults, it's too late, Adams said. Oregon's new program is geared toward private landowners, but the federal government owns more than half of Oregon's total land, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture has its own program for the outbreak on western public land. The U.S. government's grasshopper suppression program dates back to the 1930s, and USDA's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service has sprayed millions of acres with pesticides to control outbreaks since the 1980s. APHIS National Policy Director William West Westilla said the agency sprayed 807,000 acres and rangelands across 7 western states in 2021 so far this year. It has received requests for treatment in Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Utah, Nevada, and Arizona, according to Jake Boddart, Boddart, a state plant health director for Oregon. It's like in a 2019 risk assessment, APHIS organized the main insecticide use. The field benzorin remains a restricted use pesticide due to its toxicity to aquatic invertebrates. No, it's like
Aquatic.
aquatic. Mm, yeah, I was talking about aquatic. It's like, but said risk are low. APHIS says it's says it's like APHIS says it's following methods to reduce concerns. It instructs pesticide applicators, no, yeah, applicators, so like to skip swamps and apply the insecticide at low rate than listed on the label. But environmental groups opposed the program last month. The Zir uh, Zirkis, if I'm saying that right, Society for Invertebrate Conservation and the Center of Biological Diversity (CBD) sued APHIS in the U.S. District Court in Portland. In their filing, they accuse APHIS of harming rangeland ecosystems and not adequately informing the public about treatment areas. So, I mean, it's kind of a lengthy article. It goes into, I didn't read it, before I did the lesson. I just saw the name and started the spirit pretty much drive me when I seen, biblical insects. And I saw the picture, which was, a giant locust. But pretty much, that's what's really going on. It's like Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is actually plaguing this place, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, with his ancient plagues, man. Famine. We on that's on the horizon. Then which of these locusts are going to be a contributory. These giant grasshoppers, or whatever you want to call them, are going to be a contributory to that, famine. So let's get another precept before I close out. Um, this is Salaki. Let's go to Isaiah. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 19. We start at 1. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come unto Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved in his presence. So like it. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. That's talking about when those nuclear missiles hit, man. You know, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight one another against his brother. And that's what we're looking at. That's what we're actually coming into, man. The first precept was going into when Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah comes and revealed itself, you know, in the midst of the third woe that would be the center place of Yahweh Shaphat, between these different nations, pretty much spearheaded by Russia, you know, with the NATO regime against the BRIC regime, you know, where these nations would be, in the midst of fighting each other, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah will come and deliver his elect, and in the process or simultaneously, these nuclear missiles will be on its way to Babylon the Great, aka America, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, and destroy them. And this place is going to be destroyed, man. That's talking about at the end of this precept where it says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at the presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. That's those nuclear missiles hitting this place Babylon the Great. And the second precept it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. It's talking about what's going on currently right now, man. You know, and one example is this overturning of this U.S. Supreme Court case that Jim Crow Joe states that that America's been set back by that decision 150 years, the overturn of this Roe versus Wade. Now you got the Egyptian against the Egyptians, which this conflict was going on, what has been going on. You know what I'm saying? These are the plagues that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai had done in the ancient time in ancient Egypt, and it's happening right now in current modern day Egypt, which is Babylon the Great, aka America. I'm gonna continue reading. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight each one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So, this place is going to be, when the famine hit, this place is going to be in total chaos, man. You're going to have sedition among men. You're going to have, these civil unrest, all these different riots, and so on and so forth. And the spirit of Egypt shall fall, Salakia, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. That means this whole system is gonna fail, man. This whole current system that he got constructed, is gonna fail, man. And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. That means all they so-called churchgoers, all they so-called people that have some type of platform that they seek some type of guidance. Cesare Borgia for another thing, these false idols, they're gonna seek to them for for help in that day, man. And the Egyptians will I give over unto the hand of a cruel Lord, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and the fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, and the Lord, Salakia, saith the Lord of hosts. So that's what's going to happen to this place, man. This place is going to be destroyed, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to set up his kingdom, and he's going to rule over these Edomites along with the other nation, with a fierce countenance, man. He gonna rule over them with an iron rod, man. That was promised to his chosen elect, man, of the nation of Israel. But right now, I'm not gonna get too far off the subject. But right now, we're experiencing the plagues, you know, that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is unleashing on this place, man. With the prime example, the Egyptian against the Egyptian, you see the uproar, you see people are, at conflict with each other regarding these decisions, policies that's going on here in Babylon the Great. You already see, the scarcity of necessities, mainly food. And then this plague right here that Yahweh Shem Yahushai sent, right here it says, biblical insect swarm spur Oregon push to fight pests. These people are spending millions of dollars to trying to what? Offset the prophecies, man. But they can't, man. That's the works of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. No matter how much energy and time that Esau Edom is trying to, spend to um, prolong his fate, he still is on the timer, man. You know how you set a timer and they click, tick, 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 they say ding. That's pretty much what Esau Edom is on, man. He on that timer, man. He's done, man. You know what I'm saying? His kingdom, his rulership is done, man. He has a short window, to fulfill his agenda before Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah comes and destroy this place, man. And proof of this is that these pests, these plagues, these pestilence, you know, and another form is these different diseases or variants, things like that is spreading too. It's one calamity after another. You know what I'm saying? So you see that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is plaguing this place, man, with pestilence, man, with plagues, just like he did in ancient Egypt. So I didn't intend this to be too long, and Salakia for uh, some of these words I wasn't too familiar with, so I had to stop, do a little research in the process of me edifying. Hope the brothers and sisters were edified, you know. But I'm in and off there. And before I do, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Kakadash. Again, this is your Akim Drill, Lord willing. I'll be back with another lesson. Also want to give double honors and a salute to the men of the Truth Farm. Till next time, Shalom, Barakatham, and a Barber Ball. Shalom.